Honestly, I thought I was gonna film this video a few days later, but I'm in a really bad mood, so I'm gonna do this now because talking about things make me happy. Hey guys, this is Sophia and welcome to another video. As you can tell from the title, today we're talking about my New York City haul. Now, let's not lie, if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I like to buy things. I actually think I did not buy as much stuff as I thought I would, but I still got some good stuff. So we're gonna talk about them. I'm gonna actually start with stationery because I feel like I've never really lived in a city that has as much stationery options as New York City. Don't get me wrong, Boston had some great stationery stores. Seattle, not really. But New York, wow, stationery galore, which is really bad for my wallet. So the first thing that I got, I believe like literally the weekend I arrived, was actually a traveler's notebook. Now some of the inserts for my notebook I actually got in Boston as well, mostly because the place I went to get this particular notebook cover, Yoseka Stationary, they didn't have a lot of stock options for inserts. So when I found some in Boston, I decided to just buy it instead of waiting around or ordering it online. Honestly, after having used it, I really love it. This has quickly become my New York City scrapbook as well as my commonplace journal. If you've never heard of Commonplace, please go check it out. I found out about it by accident through the YouTube algorithm, and I kind of hate that the YouTube algorithm introduced me to it because after I started watching one video, I could not stop watching them, and then it just got stuck in my head. And I'm one of those people, especially when it comes to stationery, as soon as an idea gets stuck in my brain, I need to do it. And funny story, so when I was in Japan the last time, so last November, I was actually stationery shopping and I found this like section of notebooks, and I was thinking that next time I come to Japan, I wanted to buy a notebook that I could carry from the beginning of the trip to kind of collect stamps. Okay, so I was just literally wandering around. The goal was to find just a blank notebook that I could put stamps in. Turns out the notebook I bought was actually from the Travelers Company, and I just think it's so serendipitous that literally that notebook that I bought can fit in here perfect, and I can bring this to the next time I go to Japan. I will say it can get kind of expensive because all the inserts kind of just end up adding up. I think that's the only bad thing about it, but it is very personalizable, which I do like. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this now. I can talk about this all day. In relation to the Travelers notebook, I did buy this. This was purely an impulse purchase, and that's why it's still in the plastic because I haven't figured out what I'm going to use it for. And then I went to Neko Zakaya. I'm probably saying it so wrong, and I'm so sorry. But I did also buy some stationery there as well. The Travelers Company binder, spiral notebook. I actually saw this by accident. Again, the YouTube algorithm. But I saw this by accident, and I actually really love the concept. And it is essentially just a spiral notebook, but it's filled with envelopes. And so if you are a knick-knack collector, you can literally fill the envelopes with knickknacks. And the person that I watched used it really well, which was that they brought this entire notebook on a trip with them, and then they just put anything they collected, receipts, business cards, anything random in here, so that when they went back it was like well organized and everything. And I actually thought that was so smart because when I'm traveling I do tend to collect stuff, but I usually just like stick it into one of those like zippers in my check-in and my carry-on. And so this is just such a better way to organize it, and it's not very thick, so even if you fill it with stuff, yes, it will get a little bulky, but it won't get that much bulkier. So this ink pad, I don't know why I bought this. Honestly, this was a pure impulse purchase. I don't even have any stamps on me, so I can't even use this for a few months. But I just really like the beige. I feel like that's what drew me. They had a lot of other great colors as well that I seriously considered getting, but the only one that was like, okay, if I don't get this, I think I might regret it if I can't find it again in the future, was this beige color. So I decided to get it. And then I did get one washi tape. I held myself back. This was the only one that I was like, if I never find this again, I might be devastated, so I'm just gonna buy it now. And then I did get the cutest pins. They have some of the cutest enamel pins. When I actually did my first round of the store, they were low in stock, and then when I did my second round, they had just restocked it, and this is when I saw this pin and I thought it was just adorable. My fiance actually got the last of the coffee pin which is so cute. And then the last thing I got from that store is actually in this spiral notebook, and that is this postcard. Beautiful colors, really, really nice note right there. Okay, that is literally it for stationery. I did get 2 books when I first landed in New York. Hindsight, I definitely did not need to buy the physical copy, but something about like holding a physical book just kind of hits different. Maybe it's the millennial in me. One of them is the book Same as Ever. It's essentially a self-help book, and it just basically recounts stories of things that have stayed the same as ever. I am about halfway through, as you can see, and so far I really like it. And I haven't started reading this, so I cannot attest to how good or bad this book is. And then I did get some kitchenware. I did get this beautiful bowl. It's actually a set. I know my close-up is only one, but that's because the other one's dirty. They have a decent circumference, but they're not super deep and they're not super shallow. It's really hard to explain, but I've noticed when it comes to like eating certain foods, having a bowl like this is actually super helpful. And then this was like one of those purchases that we didn't actually want to make when we got here. We brought some here from Seattle, but as we started using the ones we brought, we realized that we actually needed just regular chopsticks. So I did get a set of chopsticks for me and my fiance. The blue one is for my fiance, and this really thin wooden gold one is for me. I did get a fan. New York City is hot right now, and this fan has been such a lifesaver. I cannot explain. It's also a great like gadget, like fiddle gadget. Sometimes I'm just working and I'm in meetings, I'm just going like this. And I think that's really also loosened it up for me to be able to do that. And then I did get a tote bag. I saw this and I fell in love. First of all, I loved all the pockets. 2, I love that there was a clasp. I love that there was an interior pocket for organization. I love that it's also a little cushiony. It's also lined. It's also made of a really, really soft linen fabric, which is nice. The only thing I don't like about it is actually the handles kind of bunch up. And I just don't like it because it can get really uncomfortable if you fill it with stuff. But otherwise, solid tote bag. It was quite expensive. It was like $70, which, again, expensive. But the functionality of this tote bag is amazing. So worth every penny. The last things I want to show are clothes, especially because we haven't found an apartment. I'm trying to refrain from buying too much clothes. And I don't know if I've mentioned this in a video in a while, but I've been having a really hard time shopping lately for clothes. Obviously not everything else, but for clothes, just because I feel like I've reached a point in my wardrobe, even though my wardrobe is not consolidated right now, like they're spread out in different cities. But I feel like I've reached a point in my wardrobe where I have almost everything I need, right? So like there's very little things that I feel like I really, really need to buy. So it really comes down to if I'm in the right mood, if I find something that I've been thinking about getting but haven't found the right one, that's when I'll get something. And that is what a lot of these items are. So the very first thing I want to talk about is a pair of pants. I've heard a lot of good things about the Frankie Shop, but I've never been to a store. I don't like buying stuff online before I've gone to a store, because going to a store, trying things on, that's when you can get a better understanding of what size you are in that store. And so I went to their store recently and I tried a few things on. I saw these pants, tried them on in a medium, fell in love with how they felt. They're also the pinstripe pant that I've been looking for a really long time. But this is like a soft, silky material. Honestly, it feels like PJs. But it's also wide leg, and they only had large left online. Tried it on in a medium. I went online, saw they had one large left. I literally bought it online as I walked out of the store. As you can see in the clip, I do need to get them tailored. And then I have the hardest time finding slips, but I did see this slip skirt, which I'm not gonna try on camera, and I really loved how like elastic the top was. I loved that the scallop detail was not super lacy. I like that it was a little slit on just one side. It was really comfortable to wear. And then the last thing I got, this was not intentional. I found it by accident. I saw a crocheted shirt, tried it on, I was like about it, and then I was flipping through some other clothes, and then I saw this color scheme and I was sold. It is just the perfect blue palette. And for me in the summer, this style shirt is super useful for me. Having a loose kind of Hawaiian shirt that's light, that's comfortable, that I can just throw on, that will also give me a little bit of warmth if it gets chilly out at night. It's just amazing. Like, I really, really love it. And this color scheme is like the exact opposite of my Palm Springs one, which is all pink and coral and everything. Like, something about it just makes me happy. But yeah, that is all the things I've bought in New York so far. I probably would have gone a little bit more because I haven't gone to a single flea market yet. So I know the moment I do, that will be when the most of the damage will be done. But I hope you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed this haul. If you have any questions about any of the products that I mentioned, let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully I'll see you next time for another video. Bye guys.